Hey folks, Kevin here with Fabrk AI, and I'm back. This is part 4 of creating our Trello agent. I'm going to jump right back in. If this is the first video you're watching for this, check out the first 3 videos. This is going to be the 4th, and I think final. We'll see. We'll see if we get through it all. This is not a tutorial. This is just basically turning on the camera as I'm building, and want to just kind of show folks how to build an agent, build a tool in Fabrk, and so I'm going to walk you through that. And then just one note is that this is what we're doing in Fabrk, but really the code can be used for any function calling with API, OpenAI's assistance, or function calling. The functions are all set up the same way, which you'll see in a second. So in the last video, we left it off here, which is this is the function that we're going to pass into OpenAI to create this Trello card. So in the last video, we got the credentials, showed you how that works, and then we passed this tool. We just create the Trello card, and then we're going to return the information about the card that was just created. And so the last step here is I'm going to rename this, this was a previous function that I copied over from GitHub, create branch. So we are going to rename this to, let's rename it to create Trello card tool. And so there's one more thing to do here. I'm just going to make sure this function name is correct here. It is. Okay. Let's get rid of that stuff. Okay. And that's add the tools to the list of tools that we have. So this is the list of tools that we're passing in. Right now it's hard-coded, but I have plans to basically get this pulling from the database. It does add a little bit of latency here if you pull it from the database to get them, although now that I'm thinking about it, maybe actually this is slower getting all these from each file. So anyway, but that's the list right there for now, and that's how it works. And so now we have the function name and we have the functionality working. In a previous video we showed how to create the Trello card. So pretty much all of it's working now. The last thing we need to do is create the tool. So we created the agent in Supabase, or did we create the tool? I can't remember now. Let's check. So maybe we did. Here we go. Okay, so we did create the tool. So AI create Trello card. This is probably pretty small, but AI create Trello card. Just make sure. AI create Trello card. Okay, perfect. We did create that. So you'll notice the function name matches. That's how it finds the function that it needs to call. And the last thing we need to do is add the parameters. So I'm going to do it like this. And I'm just going to select all here and then add them here, and then we're going to update them. So this was for, I forget what this was for. This was getting directory in GitHub. Okay, so what are the things that we need here? We need name, list ID, and description. So name, string, I'm just going to get rid of default. List ID, and description, and that's a string. Okay. Now this is how, right now, how you create a tool, and then once it's in, you can fork it, which I'm going to show you in 1 second. So I'm going to get rid of all this other stuff that we don't need, recursive, cursor, and owner. We don't need any of that stuff. Okay. And we're going to save that. Okay, now we're going to look at it and make sure it looks okay. I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm just going to make sure I'm running here. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's see. I'm just going to refresh here just to get it. There we go. Okay. So here's the agent, and I'm going to go to one of the threads, and I'm going to show you the tools. You can see that the agent's working, but there's no tools attached. So you click on this, and you can see that there's no tool attached. So I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. It should be at the bottom. There it is. So I'm going to add it. So this pops up. It basically says, do you want to copy this tool and add it, or do you want to add it without copying? 99% of the time, you're going to want to copy and add it. There are situations, most of the time, the tools are specific to an agent, but there are situations where you might have a tool that works across different agents, and so that's that. So there's definitely more to discuss on this, but we're not going to dive into that right now. All right, so that's copying it. And if you scroll up to the top here, we're getting a lot of tools here. We're going to have to add a search. So So we see we have the Trello tool. So now we have the Trello agent, and if you click on this, you see it has the Trello tool. So we're going to click this edit button. Okay, so here's the Trello tool, and you can see here it requires authentication. And before we do that, I'm just going to check. We have name, list ID, and description. Perfect, that's what we want. Okay, so this right here requires authentication, and it's telling us that it requires credentials. What type? So the connection ID is not there, and so I'm going to look at the credentials, and oh, we have the token here. Okay, so that's good. Let me just see here. I'm going to go back to the thread, and I'm going to make sure that this actually does require authentication, or if this is a bug. The connection ID is for that agent. I think that the credentials are here, so I think we're good to go. And that is, in fact, a bug that we'll have to work through here. Because it doesn't, so there's also a little button that pops up here when it requires authentication, and I don't think it's there. So I think this is just a UI issue in the front end. So anyway, let's test it. So let's go over here to the chat, and we can say, oh, you know what? It doesn't have the list ID. So one of the things that is important to kind of understand for these agents is there's information that you want to pass into, you know, the message here, but there's also information that you want to put in the context of the agent so that it has it and you can just like reuse it. So one of those things is like that list ID, and actually probably like the board ID and some other information. Let's see what we can put in here. So board, let's do the board. This is the main board here. And let's see what we call this board. This is the Fabrk AI marketing board. So this is a pattern that I usually use, is I'll add the context with the name. So taking a long time to load here. How are we doing? Okay. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to put in the context the we're going to call this the Fabrk AI marketing board ID. It's not letting us do it. I think there's another little bug there. So we're going to go back here to the thread and just do it here. There's two places to update your context. You can do it there or here. Okay, and then now I'm going to add the list. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to add all the lists. So actually, you know what? Let's see if we went back. In a previous video, we got all the lists, and I don't see that, so we'll just do it again. It's a good thing to show again. So here we go. We'll do the board. Here's a get boards. This is the boards. All right, here. No, this is the list. Okay. So this is going to get the lists in the Trello board. So this is going to get like backlog to do in progress done. So we're going to go to our terminal. Oh, it's actually right there, but we'll just do it again. Okay. Command net found header, but it passed it back. Weird. Okay, let's grab this. One of the things I like to do with the command line is actually just like paste it into VS Code so I can see it better. Okay, so here we go. So here's backlog to do, in progress, and done. So I'm just going to copy these and put them in the agent. Marketing board. And this is backlog ID. And we need this one is in progress. Oh, wait a minute. Did I grab the done? Yeah, I did. That was dumb. Okay, this is done ID. And so I'm doing this so I don't have to like do this again, right? So as I'm going, I'm probably going to be reusing this agent a bunch, and so like it should have the IDs of these things so that it could just reference them. So let's just put this with this one. Here we go. Okay, and this one is do ID. And it helps to really be, I'm just going to put list. It helps to be explicit in progress, list ID with AI. Same with people, you know, like someone who didn't know what Trello was, if they came here and they're like, what is that? Is it a list ID? Is it something else? So just think, I always think like when the AI does something crazy, I'm like, well, would a human have gotten that? So probably not. Okay, and we already have the backlog. Do we? Oh no, I thought I did. Okay. There we go. Good thing about AI, it doesn't really care much about formatting. It can read like all this misformatted stuff, so that's fine. All right, we're gonna submit there. Okay, so one of the things I've been seeing is there's been a disconnect with so that's the context for this agent. And so basically what should happen in this case is this should be passed to OpenAI to update this agent in OpenAI because they're pre-created so that the latency is low. So I'm just going to say, what list IDs do you have? And I'm doing this because I want to make sure that that stuff's in there, or at least from an OpenAI perspective, that it has it. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Okay, great. So now we have the lists, we have the board, and now I'm forgetting exactly what I have to pass in. Name and description, that's it. Okay. So let's do this. And I'm going to say, let's say we have done, in progress, we want to do backlog. Can you add a list of won't do? Often you'll have, let's see if it gets that apostrophe. Let's see if that causes problems. And then add your own description. All right, here we go. So what should happen is you should see the tool called here. So this is important because it's basically saying it probably can't see the tool, but let's just see. It has the tool, so let's see. Let's just explicitly add it. Oh, you know what? We created the card agent. I don't know why I'm trying to add a list. Okay, so let's say, can you add a card to the list backlog with the name fix? I need to fix the credentials UI. Description is the credentials UI shows that it needs authentication when the credentials are present. All right, let's see if it's going to do that. This happens a lot where you try to ask the AI to do something when it doesn't know how to, but it'll tell you, so that's good. All right, here we go. So it added this card, and look, it even provided the URL, so you can just click on this. So this is great. Perfect. Fixed credentials, the credentials. This is great. Awesome. So there you go. So you can see that this was added with AI, where we've now integrated Trello with this agent, and it can add cards. So this is pretty cool. We're in the step of the right direction here. One of the very cool things, which may or may not come in a future video, is this is just the first step, right? Like this is just a card, and so we should be able to update the lists, add the lists, add whatever these called boards. all the rest of the functionality that you might need, you should probably give access to. So, creating these agents is not trivial, right? Because you're going to have to give them all the kind of API endpoints that you think they might need. And so that'll be what I do next, but you can see that we're starting at the right place. One of the cool things is that any of the tools that we build from here actually can use the same connection, right? So actually, we'll just click on credentials here. So you can see I added the Trello token, and this token can use for any of those tool calls because it's just the same. It's the same API call, or I should say the API call auth. So yeah, so there we go. We have the agent, we have it creating cards, and next step is give it all the rest of the functionality it needs. So thanks for watching.